What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. Have you ever seen something so dumb you just had to sit there and look at it? That's where I was with this. The first thing I thought of was there's no way someone would actually let this quote be attributed to them. And then I realized it was IGN. So, when I first saw this, arguably the best core gameplay the series has ever seen, I was taken back, right? But then I thought to myself, and I'm not big on analogies, but I'm going to use one here. If you win a dick-kicking contest, does it hurt less? No, you've still been kicked in the dick. So that's essentially what this quote is saying. So let's unpack this just a moment. And let's understand that this is to sell and promote Madden for the upcoming holiday. So they're trying to encourage a non-gamer to purchase the product for a loved one. And to do this, they say, arguably the best core gameplay the series has ever seen. So arguably means it's debatable. Even they're not sure. It could be worse. It's up to you. The best core gameplay, the series, referring to the series of Madden, which is known for horrible gameplay. So what you're saying is we've found something that's awful, okay? And we can make an argument that this is the best it has to offer, even though it's still awful. Right? It's one less bag of trash, but it's still trash. If you thought it was trash before, it's going to be a little less. We think, we're not sure. It might be a little less, depending on your perspective of it. That's what EA is selling with. That's what they're leading with. That's what they're promoting with. Understand. They took an intern, right? They took someone away from putting mouthpieces or tattoos, something of substance, in the game, right? Fixing the playoffs, things that they've had to go through. I talked about it yesterday with the franchise update. They broke like 4 different things trying to implement 3. So they took someone off that. And they said, listen, we need you to go on this Lewis and Clark. We need you to go on this Christopher Columbus. Take this journey, right, out into the internet. And we want you to return with a quote that we can use to sell our game. And I can only imagine, when they went through the 0.2 user score, they found nothing. When they went through the critics' reports, they found very little. Right? What are you going to say? This game had the lowest rated user score in the history of gaming for like 4 weeks. You can't sell it with that, right? You can't lead with that. You can't say the worst rated game in the history of gaming. You can't say 5 consecutive years of lower critic scores. You just can't. So they came up with arguably the best core gameplay the series has ever seen. That's what they returned with. At that point, they looked at Eric the intern and said, Eric, this is the best you have to offer. This is the quote that you found. And I'm sure Eric said, listen, I went through a sea of negativity. This is the best there is to say. This is the best thing out there about your game. If they didn't know, there was a problem. If they didn't know the community reception, if they didn't know how we feel about this game, they absolutely know now. Because to sell this game, they had to arguably say, this is the best, worst game we've got. So we hope you're going to enjoy it. I can't think of a worse time to have you trying to sell this game this way. Not only are you dealing with next-gen consoles, not only are you dealing with other companies that are putting out astonishingly well-made products that are extremely receptive to their community. I'll actually talk about that later tonight, the way 2K responded to the community in a way I don't feel Madden ever would. You have to actually try to attribute quotes which are historically known to sell anything, from a movie to a video game. And you can't even find one that's overwhelmingly positive, because there is not one person, not one company, not one magazine that is willing to risk their credibility with the community to tell you that Madden 21 is a good game. That is the core takeaway here. Not one magazine was willing to look at this game and sign off that it's a good game. Imagine working at EA. Imagine working on this game and knowing that. You finally got to the point, all jokes aside, where you couldn't buy off one person. You couldn't pay off one magazine to give you a 9 out of 10, to give you a 10 out of 10. Right? The best thing you had was arguably the best this game is capable of. Which anyone that's played this game for the last 5 years, if they see this quote, do you really think it's going to change their perspective? Do you really think someone that only knows Madden NFL 18 looks at this and says, arguably the best? Do you think they don't look at the game with their own perspective of, God, that game was horrible the last time I played it? And really sit there and decide they're going to commit $60, $70, $80 to go buy what arguably may be better? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Arguably the most patches a game has ever had. Arguably the most content creator damaging game on the face of the earth. So, to a lot of us, it's really not even an argument. We know. Okay, we're aware of what this game has been doing. I've made a channel off of it to so many people. But the reality is now, everyone is faced with that. We all know. There's no more hiding it. There's no more secrets, EA. The proverbial cat is out of the bag. You have taken what should have been one of the most beloved games. What should have been one of the most cherished franchises. What should have been one of the best games of the year. What should have been a bright spot for so many of us. And you have turned it into an embarrassment. You've turned it into a mockery of the league. You've turned it into something that fans are ashamed to play. And the whole time, you've done it while everyone tells you you're doing it. You've literally been on a ship that is sinking while everyone on board waved at us while we told you your ship is going down. You probably want to do something about it. When we yelled iceberg, you floored it. And this is the rewards of that effort. The community tried to get you out of this position. We did everything we could to give you feedback, to give you substance, all the things you weren't giving us. We bought a game that we knew would be bad. We played a game that we knew was unplayable. And we did it all to help you. To let you improve your game. To try to make sure the next version of the game was better than the version we were playing. And even though seemingly each year we were met by not getting a better product, by getting somehow less than what we had asked for, by being given things we didn't even want, by knowing you were devoting time to titty scanning DJ Khaled when you could have been devoting time to making the game better. And you know what? There wasn't a lot of outrage. There wasn't a lot of anger. There wasn't a lot of frustration. But then it finally boiled over this year. It finally got to the point of no return. It finally got to the point where you literally had to look at knowing you could say it was the community being mean. You could say it was just a group of people doing it, but there was no two ways around it. You were trending on Twitter 3 different times. Not because of how great your game is, but because of how bad your game is. You had the worst rated game in the history of gaming. Not just because people went and rated you. Not just because people went and review bombed you. No. Because you bombed us. You continually dropped the worst football game with the least effort possible year after year after year. And now, at a time where most people are wanting to go play and purchase a next-gen console, you don't even have anything to offer us. You don't even have anything to showcase to us. You delayed the release of your game for us. And now the best thing you can do to sell your game is say arguably the best core gameplay. The gameplay is supposed to get better every single year, period. No arguments needed. No discussion needed. No same breakdown for 5 years because you don't have your passing right and you can't actually arc a ball into the end zone. Congratulations, EA Sports. You've literally done the improbable. You've done what so many of us thought you were capable of, but never really thought you would reach. You got the game so bad, you can't even promote it. You can't find someone to promote it. The only thing that you can do now is to publish your own magazine. Create a magazine. This is a golden idea for you. Create a magazine. Don't title it EA World. Title it something different. Gamer's Perspective, right? Create a magazine, own it, and then give your products positive ratings. And then when you put it in the actual trailer, it will look as if you have a better product than you do. So you can say, Gamer's Perspective gave Madden a 10 out of 10. Never mind that we own them. You don't have to cite that. You're at that level of not even damage control. You're into a whole new realm of look what you've done to this product. And you know what? These are the things that hopefully the NFL takes notice of. Because when the NBA franchise passes the NFL, I guarantee you they're going to want to know why. And you're not going to be able to look at them and say, well, arguably we had the best gameplay we've ever had. Love to know what you guys think about this. Appreciate you checking it out. And you know I will be back because every day, twice a day, 3 times a day, this game does something incredible. This company does something amazing. The problem is, it's just not getting a better product to us or more honesty with their customers. In the week, with more commentary.